Anthony Hartwig with a very awesome coach's corner and season preview coming at you. We're going to Cortland and we're talking to a coach that is at the helm of a pretty good softball team in Lakeview. It is Dave Kelm, the head coach of the Lakeview Bulldogs. Coach, thank you so much for coming on talking to us about your squad this year.
No, it's my pleasure. Absolutely, Anthony. Happy to be here. Happy to talk about this team too.
For the first time, we're able to talk about the Lakeview Bulldogs as reigning NE8 champions. You were able to split it last year with South Range. As we reflect on last year and come into this year, what kind of things are you trying to take from that and trying to even get better and raise the bar and learn lessons from last year's experience?
Yeah, that's been kind of the thing that I've tried to bring is, it's we always got to try to get better, get better. Uh, our first year in, I thought we did a great job coming in there, setting a culture up, really working with each other, getting our community involved, building this program up. And then next year, get that co-champ with South Range, which is a phenomenal team, runners up in the state last year. So happy to share that with them. And this year, how do we get better? We want to take that district title game that we've been in that runners up spot for the past 2 years. So we're really hoping to build and build.
I'm sure this year their motto is "Don't share." Right? You want to win this conference outright. You want to show that you're the best team in it. You would obviously love to take both the games from not just South Range but every other team in the NE8. What are some things that you want to do to accomplish that? What are some goals on this team? Things that you need to achieve, things you need to get better at, or things you need to do a little bit better to accomplish all the goals that you just put out in front of us?
Yeah, so adding more depth to our roster, building this program up. We've got girls now that can really play multiple positions that we're seeing. So adding the depth there, getting stronger with our pitchers. We got those returning pitchers, Ava Bacon, Isabella Eisenberg, strong kids, and getting them even stronger. Paige Swartz, she's going to be seeing some time on the varsity roster this year, so the depth there is going to be great. Getting stronger, staying positive, but also getting ready to go out and take stuff. We're a really good group, and we can start taking stuff now, and we want to be mentioned as one of those top teams in the area, in the best area where softball happens, Northeast Ohio. So
Let's talk about that roster. I know you mentioned a couple of names, but there's so many more that are going to grace the field for Lakeview that are going to have big impacts on the season. Break down the roster for us and who we should know before the season starts.
yeah, so talk about depth. Lots of phenomenal talent on this team. Returning is our 3-year letter winners. Going for four: Haley Capan, Kennedy Bartlett, and Ava Bacon. They came in as freshmen, set a tone of positivity and like team first spirit from that first day there, and they're awesome. The junior class, all around athletes here. Max Stowe, Isabella Eisenberg, Calissa Warner. I know they just featured a lot of time in YSN. Those kids, they're coming in, contributing at a high level, really adding to our talent and our depth. Um, Max Stowe, probably one of the top catchers in the area. She's really good, and she really sets herself up in there. Isabella Eisenberg, probably the strongest I've ever seen her. So she's going to be there. And Calissa, just an athlete, all around utility player, leading our batting order. It's going to be great. Step down to that sophomore class, and that's where we start seeing those numbers really pick up and grow. And we're looking at Paige Schwartz. She did start for us last year at third base. She's going to be coming in with some pitching time. And then we go down to Ella Collins. She's going to be a big name, I think, for us this year, stepping into the infield. She played outfield for us last year. She'll be in that batting order. Linnea Kovac, another one that was sprinkled in there last year. She's going to be coming up big for us this year. Um, Moving around, should have my cheat sheet out and forgot to grab it, but moving around with that group, Carly Brainerd coming in. We got Taylor, Ash, Abby Waldo. Um, it's going to be just a huge group. Correction, Carly Brainerd is a junior in that group, and she's going to be coming in and helping Mac out with the catching at times, so that's going to be good, and also really good at the bunt and working on that offensive game there. The freshman group's very fun. They are coming in and really putting a challenge. They saw that they could probably come in and contribute a lot on the bases defensively. We've got a few girls that I think are going to be contributing this year. They're going to be coming in. The umpires around here know I love working that lineup card and getting those base runners in. So I'm happy to see that we're going to get about 15 girls in some of these games. It's going to be great.
Yeah, when the umpires see you on down the line, they better have their card ready and their pen handy because you do like to make those changes quite often, coach.
Oh
It's kind of
yeah.
like it's your calling card. Um, I would be remiss if I didn't. Let's talk more about Max Stokes. I think not only is she one of the best catchers in the area, but her bat is so dangerous. I think one of the most well respected hitters, not just in the conference, but in the area as well. Talk about, I mean, just to coach a generational talent like that, what it's been like for you last year and a half and going into your second year, and what it's been like to see her work ethic and her leadership and what she's been able to bring to the table.
Yeah, so work ethic, leadership. When you look at it as a freshman, watching her develop has been great. But as a coach, when I think of Max Stowe, I got to make sure that she's in a position where she needs to get pitched to because she does bring that bat with her and she's ready to use it. Um, Catching, hitting, all around. She really sets a tone for it. I really like what I've been seeing out of her this year, working with our freshmen, sharing what she knows. We got four young ladies who are ready to be catchers on this team, and Max Stowe's right there, and she's not trying to keep it to herself. She's out there helping them and with the hitting too. She's becoming just a great teammate on top of everything else. So really excited for what she's going to bring to the team this year, not just with the bat, not just catching off the field in practices with those younger teammates. It's great.
As we venture into talking about your schedule, last year I got really exciting at the end because South Range was the last team on your schedule. You both came in tied to the top of the conference. Everyone knew that series was going to decide everything. This year you play them right off the jump. Let's talk about opening with that and the rest of the league and what you expect out of the NE8.
Yeah, so very interesting schedule. Starting off with Boardman and them this weekend. Then we go into South Range to start the season off. We both are probably looking forward to those games. It doesn't matter when we play them. We know it's going to be tough games. We're excited for it. We're going to try to take it one game at a time, but I know that Monday, I think, and Tuesday game coming up here is pretty high on the radar for everybody. So, but ultimately, the NE8, we're starting to see a lot of good stuff. I saw Gerard out there. It's going to be a fun conference. It always is, and really excited to get in there. The rest of our schedule, very tough. We went out there and we tried to find as many great teams that we could play as we can. Got them on the roster, and we did that. And I'm very happy that we don't have to go very far to do that. Northeast Ohio, we got Fitch on there. We got Camfield on there. So two returning defending state champs. A lot of lead eights in there. Got to play Boardman right out of the gate this year. Willoughby South. It's going to be a fun time, and looking forward to it. A lot of grinding for this group.
And it's all about getting ready for the postseason, coach. Off the jump, one of the first goals you talked about was getting a district championship and breaking through that wall. Now Division 5, you guys expanded, but you didn't get away from a lot of the still big boppers in the divisions. What do you think about the expansion of divisions and what kind of doors it might open for you guys and what it means for Lakeview softball now that there's 7 divisions instead of 4?
Yeah. So as always, we want to prepare the season and be ready to play our top softball when we get into that tournament. Finish up the conference strong, and then be ready to go with playing our best softball. So I do think we are Division 4 going into this. So we see what we have around here. We know it's always tough. It's one game at a time. You can't take anything for granted when you go into those tournament games. But this whole season, we want to really look at that conference, do our best, make sure we're getting better every week, and playing our best softball on that first tournament game. So,
And when you think about, all the things that go into a softball season, it's so long in the sense that you're fitting a lot of games into a short amount of time. It's not long as in the sense of time, but it's long in the sense of it's a grind. Talk about navigating that and what it's like to keep players motivated and healthy and staying away from gassing out when you're trying to fit 27 games into probably a little bit over a month of calendar time.
yeah. So try to have fun. as often as possible, which is not very hard on this group. We got a group of fun girls. You got to understand that there's going to be bumps in the road, and dealing with those just means we're learning, not necessarily, failing or anything. Being able to take those, spacing it out, and it is tough once we get those rain games that start stacking up, and you're playing 8 games in 7 days, or excuse me, 8 games in 6 days sometimes. It is tough. Got to keep them rotated. The depth that we have this year is going to be great. Last year, I made sure I reflected on the season, what went well, what do we need to do better next year, and I've got a pretty good game plan on how we're going to do that, just by focusing on certain drills through the warm up period, through the extra time we get. There's a lot of times when you might not see a practice field for a week before you can even get back out there just to work on a few things you saw. So understanding that that's going to have to happen, and we're going to have to squeeze that in more and as a mental approach than an on the field fix. So
Now I'm looking behind you, and I see Darth Vader, and I see the stormtroopers, and I see the Death Star, and I see. Do you get that feeling of being a little bit of the villains this year because you took the conference last year and you're coming in with a little bit of swagger? Do you kind of feel like you're the team that everyone wants to beat now, and you're a little bit of the bad guys this season?
I would never say we're the bad guys, despite despite what you might see behind me. I like to always consider us the good guys, but it's hard to in this area, this division, this conference. Where we're at. I think every team out there is super respectable, and you have to respect them. We got to where we are thanks to the teams. The Howlands, the champions, the South Ranges, the Canfields. I mean, you could just go on forever. Um, we saw that how good they were. We came out there. We said, "Hey, we want to get there too." I wouldn't say we're the villains, but I definitely want to make sure that we're one of those teams that when you think Northeast Ohio elite softball, you throw Lakeview's name in that mix, and we want to make sure that happens this year.
Okay, we can't go without asking Star Wars questions, right? Because I'm a geek, and you're the Star Wars fan as well, obviously with your backdrop. What Star Wars character do you think this team does embody? If it's not the evil empire and it's not the bad
Ooh.
guys, what storyline or character do you think this team's going to embody the most?
Wow. That's a good one. The team. I could probably go better with individuals, but if I'm gonna
Oh yeah, hit us with individuals. Then
no, that's gonna
if you have
take a
players that
long,
that
long
line right
time.
up
But I will
with
I'm gonna put us out there as I would say we are definitely the I'm gonna play us as the scoundrels. We're gonna go with the scoundrels here. We got that Han Solo. Some of us got that Lando Calrissian vibe. Yeah, we'll go
yeah,
with the scoundrels for right now.
I love it, coach. I love it. We would not let this interview go without letting you talk about the staff and the people around you that help you build this program, whether it be people in the community, administration. I know there's a lot of people that have your back, so I want you to talk about all the people that have helped you build up Lakeview softball to what it is right now.
Yeah. So that list is long. Started out 3 years ago, and I had to ask my daughter, Kate, Kate Kelm. She's my assistant coach. She came in. It's been so fun coaching with her. It's one of the great joys, to be able to go out there and just extend what we had when she was a player and I was her coach, and now she's helping me coach, and we're still getting to do what we love. So got to start with Kate Kelm. Last year we brought on Demetra Noble, LeBray native. She's got a pretty long history with LeBray there, and she came over to Lakeview, added some fun stuff, helped us out with our hitting game. Really comes in with a lot of that stuff that we need. The girls love her. Colin Chadwick added to our coaching staff this year officially. Last year, he's been doing all those great photos, always around. Everybody knows Colin and that great Chadwick sports photography. But seeing him interact and kind of how he understands the game and as a part of it, it's just been absolutely amazing. I got two great scorekeepers, Vince Werner and Brian Bartlett, and they come in with the positivity, and they are parents on the players on the team. And with that, I've got to just talk about my parents. They've come out whenever I've asked them to. I constantly am asking them to do stuff, and they are constantly there for us. Very supportive. Whether it's pumping water off of our outfield to get ready for a doubleheader with LeBray, and with that, I'll just go to the community. Last year we had a great community show up to get our fields ready to play with LeBray and Western Reserve. And Coach Dwayne Buck, sometimes known as Ed Anthony, did an awesome job coming out as well, and just getting us there, because we love softball, and Northeast Ohio is great, and we don't get the best weather, but we got the best people to handle it, and it's awesome.
Coach, we are so excited for softball season right around the corner. We can't wait to be out there covering you guys all season like we do every year, and want to wish you guys the best of luck. We want to thank you for coming on, talking to us about your program, and we look forward to talking to you real soon.
Awesome. Can't wait to see you on the field.